From the Ghost Tactical Production Studio, welcome to Tactical Tuesday, streaming live on YouTube and simulcasting as always on GunChannels.com. To check out our entire lineup of videos, podcasts, and live shows, please visit our website, www.ghosttacticalproductions.com. What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to Tactical Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, October 9th, 2018. For those of you that possibly could be Beatles fans or just John Lennon fans or whatever, I want to give a happy birthday to the late, great John Lennon. Today would have been his 78th birthday. He is one of my musical heroes. And so today he would have been 78 years old. So let's all give peace a chance. So happy birthday, John Lennon. We are, as always, live on YouTube and as always, simulcasting over on GunChannels.com. If you're streaming this live and you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. We love having you here. If you're in the YouTube side, please go ahead and say hello. We can't see if you're here unless you say something in the chat, so welcome. If you're new, go ahead and tell us where you're from and all of that good stuff. If you are listening to this in replay or on podcast version, welcome, and I hope you guys enjoy, and leave us some feedback and leave us a comment down below and let us know what you think, good or bad. I don't mind hearing bad criticism. Go ahead and let us know what you think of what we're doing here. So other than that, guys, let's kind of check out and see what is going on over on the Gun Channels side. It's a little slow. We got Dead Horse over there and Sean's over there, but I would say it's a little dead over there, but, you know, Dead Horse might not like that. But over on the YouTube, the notifications are just going out, so it's starting to fill up a little bit. Let's say hello to everybody. They got John Brown Productions out there. He said he just moved, so he had to go get registered to vote, so that's a good thing. I know Mike's been working on getting people registered to vote, so John Brown has moved cities or towns, so he had to go register again, and it's all good. I hope that all worked out for you. You got Hemis out there, Bucks out there. Warsaw Patriot is giving his normal rants. I love it, my friend. Keep the rants coming. You got the Tactical Pickle, or as Clover says, the California Cucumber out there. Calaveras 32 Special. Ozzy, the Metal God himself. He said, bark at the moon. I would bark, but nobody wants to hear that. You got Patriot in the Dark out there. Let's see here. Grim 90, the Tactical Reaper is out there. What is going on, Reaper? Good seeing you, my friend. You've got Nate's out there asking about AR. We'll get to that question here in a little bit. I'll bring that up to the panel as well. But he asked an AR question about resale value and all that stuff. So we'll bring that up here in a minute. Let the room go through it. Gunpowder Beauty's out there. Georgia Trucker's out there. He's on his way to Wally World, but he'll be listening while shopping. I hope I can make you laugh hysterically, because people will think you're crazy if you just start laughing hysterically in the middle of Walmart. Well, then again, it's Walmart, so maybe they won't. I don't know. Let's see here. I did say Gunpowder Beauty. Guitar Man Pete. What's up, Pete? And scrolling down. Jen Davis. Hello, Jen. How are you doing? And we've got Scott's out there, and I think I said, yeah, I said John Brown's out there, but D-Temp's out there. Travis Double T's out there. MW Tactical Joe Ziola. And Lockjaw's out there. Hola. David Bowling, the King Pin. Sandy's out there. Sandhill Shooters is in the house, and Ashley's out there. Hey, she says. So, hey, back to you, kid. AWAG's out there. He says he's editing his blind challenge video on the Yugo M72 Bravo 1. That'll be awesome to see. I can't wait to see that one. We're going to get into that a little bit and let Patriot go through that. But let's go ahead and do that. We'll go through the room real quick and say hello to the esteemed panel. Patriot, what's going on? Have you been getting some pretty decent, I don't know what you call them, additions or submissions or just videos in general on the blind challenge?
Yes, actually, it's been great. I'm looking forward to everybody else joining the crowd. So it's starting to fill up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And you got anything else you want to talk about right off the bat, or you want to wait?
I just dropped a video today, just my own little submission to the blind challenge. I figured I might as well jump in there too. So, but other than that, just glad to be here.
No problem. Actually, this is actually said it right. So hey, all right. The newest, and I want to say congratulations, but the newest employee of Palmetto State Armory, the Outlaw Hatfield, is in the hizzy. What's going on, my man?
Not a thing. Thanks for the link. Yes, indeed. I am the newest employee of Palmetto State Armory and very happy to be there.
When do you start? Do you know?
Next week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I've got an orientation. I got an orientation to get to early Monday morning or early Tuesday morning, and I'll know after that.
Okay, I got you. That's awesome. Congratulations again, buddy. Proud of you.
Thank you.
From South Carolina, but they claim this guy. They don't necessarily claim Outlaw, but they claim this guy. From MW Tactical, we got Michael Woodland. What's going on, Mike?
Not too much. Just sitting right here trying to figure out how to make my videos a little bit better so I can show what I'm looking at. But Patriot, he helped me out with that, and gonna go ahead and try to do this blind challenge he put out there and see how good I can do that as well.
Nice, nice, nice. And from Texas, the tactical leprechaun himself, Clover Tack. What is up, my man?
Can I pick some people off like right off the bat tonight?
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, bro.
Okay. So there's been all this hoopla over this Tasty Cakes Boston Cream Honey Bun, right? I'm sure everybody's seen that, right?
I saw an Instagram post from you, so I think you jumped on the wagon.
Yeah, I was gonna try it, right? Okay, so I gotta try it. So you'll notice from my Instagram post, I also got my powdered sugar donuts because they're off the chain. I mean, who doesn't love those, right?
How can you not?
So that's a staple, right? So I'm like, okay, while I'm getting that, I'll try one of these. I'll try it. I'll give it a try. There's all this rave. Everybody's raving about this thing. That's the nastiest piece of crap I've ever ate in my life. The chocolate's gross. The pudding's gross. The cake of the honey bun is just nothing meshes or melds well together with it at all. It's horrible. Now, I don't know if it's a Yankee Northern thing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe a bunch of you Yanks out there, that's a great pastry for y'all, I guess. But for this Texas boy, 2 thumbs down.
I want to say hi to Gary. I'm going to say hi to Rob. And I'm going to go ahead and say this, guys. I've had a rough week and a half, 2 weeks. Some personal stuff going on. Nothing detrimental. It's just been a long week. And anyways, so I wanted to have some fun. And so tonight's show is going to be basically a rabbit hole free for all, live question and answer. So if you guys have questions that you're wanting to discuss, we'll pretty much, I can't speak for anybody, but I can speak for myself. We'll answer whatever. So we'll go down whatever rabbit hole you want to go down. Just make sure you tag one of us on the panel in the chat, or you can email it to live@ghosttactical.us. So let's get back to this. So this food critique, what was it? Was it all of it just not good? Or was it texture? What exactly did you not like about this thing?
Well, the chocolate was horrible.
The chocolate itself. So if it was a different flavor, maybe it was good.
It was like a fudge. They said it was like a fudge. Well, apparently they've never had fudge, or fudge is different in the South, I guess, because that ain't fudge, Jack.
Well, you do realize it's colder up here, so it might be a different texture. You're down in that old swampy Texas, so
maybe, but I'm talking about the flavor right now. I'm not necessarily talking about the texture. But that certainly was part of it. Yeah, if it was more like a chocolate shell, I don't want to say crispy, but if it had a little more, I guess crisp may have been the word, had a little more crispy to it or something like that, then I don't know, maybe, but the flavor was horrible. So regardless of the texture, the flavor just wasn't working. And then the pudding, or I say pudding because it wasn't even supposed to have like a cream in it, and it wasn't really a cream, it was like a pudding, but it was like a flavorless pudding. It's like at least put some sugar or something in the pudding. It was basically like the great thing about a normal honey bun with a glaze, a sugar glaze, or a frosting as the sweetness, right? And this just, it didn't have that. It had the dark, it had a dark flavor on the chocolate, and then it had the gooiness of the pudding, which almost made the bread pastry portion taste like it was raw. You ever ate like a raw biscuit or something, not cook it long enough and then get it out or something? Or even a donut. You had a donut that they didn't cook long enough or something, and it was gooey. Because there was no flavor to the filling, it made it the texture feel as you were eating a raw pastry of some sort. It was nasty all the way around, Jack.
Did you check the sell by date?
Out there,
No, it was fine. It was all I'm not making excuses. It's just gross, you know. There ain't no other excuse. If you like it, that's fine. But
Ashley out there wants to know why all these talks end up talking about food. It's just the way it is. I think gun people in general love two things in this world.
Love to eat.
Probably three. They love their guns, they love America, and they love food. So you can only talk about American guns, and eventually food's going to creep into the conversation. Now, Clover, you do have a question out there from Kingpin. He says, what are your thoughts on spam cupcakes?
What is a spam cupcake?
What the hell a spam cupcake is, but it doesn't say
either. I don't know.
That would be something from Travis P11, I believe.
Is it something funny, or is it like serious, or what?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what a spam.
I read the title and didn't take.
Check the side chat. On our chat on the inside. I just put it up what somebody wrote in there.
Okay. So Travis P11 did a video, and it was bread like cupcake with spam chunks, mashed potatoes, toppings, and spam chunks. That sounds absolutely disgusting. I don't plan on ever trying. I'm not a spam guy to begin with, but no, hell no.
Well, I mean, I like the idea. Some stuff is great separated, but when you mesh it all together, it just don't work. The idea of it sounds good, you know, and the whole premise of that Boston cream honey bun is sounds good. But you know, separately, fudge is great. Separately, puddings are great. Separately, pastries are great. But you know, there's a certain technique when you start cramming all that stuff together. The ratios have to be right, and you know. All of that good stuff. And from what I'm looking with these spam cupcakes, cornbread basically it's cornbread with spam and then some mashed potatoes. And separately, all those are wonderful. No. But I don't know that I would want them all jammed together like that. That being said, does anybody ever eat the KFC bowls?
Yes, I do that.
Dude, I love the KFC bowls. And that stuff's all jammed together too. So,
but they always try to kick me out when I order it because I always tell them I want macaroni in it instead of the corn.
Really?
Yeah. Every time it's like, even when I go to Georgia, I'll get one, and then they always make a big deal about it, like they're not supposed to do it. And I'm like, well, I'm paying for it, so just make it happen.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We got Guitar Man Pete out there asks, this is going to be something fun we're going to talk about here. It says, can you guys discuss buying and selling as a hobby, but not focusing on the obvious legal stuff because it's been done to death? Yeah. I think that'd be kind of fun. We got Wanamaker coming up, so that's obviously going to be talking about buying and selling. It's a huge gun show, but you know, as far as buying as a hobby, now for me personally, I would say 90% of the firearms that I own were bought with a purpose in mind, whether it was home defense, self-defense, concealed carry, whatever it might be. Now, obviously, there are some things in the arsenal that were bought just to have a really good time with. So let's start down the line. We'll start with Ellis. You know, as far as buying as a hobby, you know, typically, do you buy your guns for a specific purpose, or are they really just some of them just there to have a good time with the range?
I'm a lot like you. I have a purpose for everything I buy. I can't see just buying one to say, okay, I want it, I'm going to buy it. Even the Chris Vector that I've been screaming about for 2 years has a purpose behind it. I think that it would make an excellent home defense weapon. Short, compact, 45 ACP. It would be great for that particular role. And every gun that I have has a roll in mind for it. The Wyndham 7.62 by 3.9. I bought that for dual purpose. You know, it can be a home defense weapon or a good hunting rifle. Perfect for deer, perfect for hogs. So, you know, I keep those things in the back of my head with every purchase.
Okay. Patriot, what about you? What do you feel about, you know, buying for hobby?
I'm going to take this in a different direction because, you know,
Go for
hobby,
it,
that sounds, I don't know, crafty kind of thing. Everything I have has a purpose, right? But making me smile is a purpose. So if I enjoy something and I just want to play with it, whatever, that has a purpose. So all my things have a purpose. So even if you get something that's just for fun, that's a purpose. So don't let them shame you into not getting what you want. But most of my stuff is just because, you know, I want it. I don't, you know. I mean, there's probably somewhere that I'll get for. I don't know. I just like them. So
yeah, sure.
That's my purpose is because I like them.
I hear you. I understand that. Mike, what about you?
I don't so much buy things to trade it off or buy it now and sell it later. If I happen to buy something and it didn't meet my expectations, of course I'll sell it then just to try to recoup whatever I, you know, paid into it. But normally I buy stuff for a specific reason as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that will buy. I mean, there's a collectors out there. They collect different things. They're looking for specific genres. They're looking for specific countries of origin. They're looking for specific time frames, whether it's World War I or World War II or whatever. So yeah, I mean, there are hobby buyers, and the hobby is collecting sometimes. Clover, I know that you've got, you know, a pretty severe collection. I'm assuming that a bunch of them were just because you found a good deal on them, or what?
Yeah, I wouldn't call I don't know. I wouldn't call my buying, and I don't do much of any selling, right?
Right.
So
right.
or trading for that matter. But most of mine, I would say I'm more an opportunistic buyer, to be honest with you. Yes, there are certain things I want, and those things that I just absolutely want. I've got some type of a purpose in mind, whether it's a fun range toy or hunting or a specific type of hunting or specific type of competition or whatever it might be. But I probably the vast majority that's in my collection are, you know, just opportunistic. It was, you know, you run across this, it's like crap. That's, you know, that's half of what you get one for. You know, I'd be a fool. So it's more. And from that standpoint, I guess they're more of an investment at that point, right? Because I mean, if you're giving $200 for a $600 pistol, let's say, that's more of an investment. And but unlike stocks or unlike just money in a vault, you know, I guess you could spread the money out on your bed and roll around on it and all that good kind of stuff. And, but you know, you certainly enjoy taking that gun out of the safe and taking it out to the range, and you know, you're enjoying that investment, right?
Right.
A lot more than you are anything else. So, you know, and I say investment, you know, long term, probably once I'm gone, you know, life insurance policy is the way my wife looks at it, because I don't plan on ever getting rid of it. If things got really, really bad and I had to, of course, you know, we would. It really hasn't ever got to that point. But I think that a lot of people out there, I think that when they say the hobby of buying and selling, right? I think a lot of them is because that's just the way that they have to do it in order to experience multiple things, for potentially two reasons. Number one, I've got a friend that he's just ADD when it comes to firearms. So he'll go out and he'll buy something, and in a few months he's done. He's tired of it. There's something else that's even better or greater than that he's just got to have, and so he sells it and buys the other one, right? It's real ADD with stuff. And then other people, I think they have a specific revolving budget, right? It's like, okay, well, I got $1,000, I got $1,500, $2,000 I can put into firearms at any given time. And it's like, okay, so if I want this new thing, I got to sell something else. If I want, you know, so forth and so on. So they rotate, I guess, their collection based off of their budget for their firearm fund, I guess you could say.
Yeah. All right, we got a question that was out here earlier. Nate posed a question, and this is a good one because it all depends on. There's a couple of variables in here that will go along to play on this. We'll have to get some more information maybe from Nate. But he said he's stuck at work, but he needs some advice. How can he get $500 for a used AR in today's market, where new ones cost around $500? He's trying to get an AK, and basically what I asked him was, what kind of accessories or add-ons did he put on, and he basically came down and said that he put some different furniture on and a red dot and a 3x magnifier on it. He'd leave that stuff on there if it helps the appeal. And I definitely think that helps the appeal. And it also is going to come down, honestly, as to what brand it is. If you're trying to sell, something that's you can get on PSA for $350 to $400 right now, and you're trying to sell it for $500, then that's going to be really difficult right now. If you're looking to sell like an M&P Sport or a Core or, one of these maybe mid-range to higher end ARs for $500, you shouldn't have a problem doing that. It also depends on if the AK that you're looking to get is $500, are you willing to put money that you have in the pocket into it? Because if that's the case, let's say you have $100 or $150, in your pocket that you could have go to this, then now you're only looking at having to sell that AR for $350 or $400, which might be a little bit easier to do. If you're trying to recoup the money that you got out of it, it could be difficult, especially if you bought it 3, 4, 5 years ago when those prices were high. ARs are not necessarily high right now. So it really kind of all depends upon what you've got. Ellis, I'm going to start with you. As far as selling an used AR for $500, is there anything that you can recommend that might be able to bolster the appearance or the value of that AR to where someone would look at that versus a new AR for $500?
Dang, man.
You better get used to this because you're getting ready to be a salesman. So just
yeah, I know. Well, see, here's the thing. In the market now, you can pick up an AR or an AK for fairly cheap to begin with. If you got a higher end deal and you want to get more out of it, the add-ons is the way to go. That and hey, you buy this for $500, I'll throw in 500 rounds of ammunition, 250 rounds of ammunition, 3, 4 mags. Sweeten the deal as much as you can without hurting yourself in the long run.
Yeah, Patriot, you got anything, or Mike or Clover? Anyone want to jump in on this one?
I'm not an AK guy, but of course, like when I purchase something, I go into like studies and ballistics and all that. So I lean more towards the higher end items when it comes to like rifles.
Nate, if you're out there, what brand is your AR? We'll start there because that might give us an idea of what it might be worth. Go ahead, Patriot.
One thing I was going to suggest the ammo thing, especially if you're going from an AR to an AK. Obviously, there's things that you're not going to use unless you have other ARs, that you're not going to use for the AK. So cases, extra sling, all that stuff that you bought that you thought was cool, and the original stuff you took off as well. Because if you replace the furniture, then you've got the original. You might be able to either sell that to that person, or you could sell that on eBay or something and get, some kind of recoup a little bit on that.
Right.
As far as the extra stuff, because we all have extra stuff.
And I think the bottom line is that, ARs have become, unless you got something extremely name brand high end, they've become so commonplace that they're going to be a hard sell. And that's true with anything out there. I can't necessarily think of an example, but some things are just hard sales. Being a salesman in that world is a hard life, and I think you're going to have to put in the work. First of all, just throwing it up on a one forum or one page, that's not. You're going to have to hustle. Definitely, you're going to have to put it out there to. Literally thousands and thousands of eyes. Be willing to ship it through an FFL to go somewhere and wherever. One thing that I like to do, and of course, if it's a custom build, we don't really know anything about it if it's built from the ground up or what. But, one thing I like to do, any modifications I make, I always keep original parts.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
my thought behind this, and I've only done it a couple of times, but my thoughts on this, because I don't sell, is put everything back original, sell it, and then this is where the work comes into play. Then sell everything else separately. And particularly with an AR, they're so personalized nowadays that that puts it back original. That puts gives a fair price to somebody to pick up something that is a base for them to then customize for themselves. They're not paying extra for stuff that's not their particular flavor. And then turn around and sell the accessories to people that want that particular flavor on their rifle. Because you've got people that may want the accessories, but not on that rifle, and you've got people that may want that rifle, but not necessarily those accessories. So by doing the work, you can broaden that market to everybody.
I'd tell you another thing you could also do, going kind of in the same direction, but the opposite direction at the same time. As far as the original furniture and the original parts and all of that, what I would do is if you've got a red dot or you've got a foregrip, or you've got some extra rails or whatever you've added, a light or whatever you've added to the AR, if you're looking to up the value of that used AR to where you can start getting some money that you're actually looking for, then what you can do is put it on GunBroker or wherever you're going to try to sell it. And you do throw in all of those accessories, but you also put as a caveat on there, also includes original parts and all of that, to where if they are looking for some of those accessories, they're great, but you're including not only the upgraded stuff, but the original parts as well. So if you're giving them the upgraded stuff and the originals, then they can do what they want to with it. But that does add maybe a value to that rifle, because they're getting not only the original parts they can go back to should they want to, but they're also getting the upgrades and accessories should they want those as well. So if you're looking to try to, maximize the value of that sale, then I would probably do both. And you can do, like, Clover says, go original, and there are people that does that. It just really depends on what you want to do. I personally think that maybe adding the originals and the upgrades might be worth more value to someone, because they might be willing to pay more if they're getting everything. I don't know.
Another thing would be if you go local, right? There's a lot of people out there that don't shop online. It's hard to believe,
Right.
but there's a lot of people that don't look at GunBroker. They don't look at PSA. They don't look at all these places. So they don't know anything about it. And not that you can push them to pay more or whatever, but there's people out there that'll pay extra so they don't have all that extra hassle of trying to look up stuff. I mean, there's older guys that might just want one just because whatever, and local like that, I think you might be able to possibly get more. It depends on where you're at and if there's old people out there.
Sure. I just got an email, boys and girls. So it ended up being a pretty decent day. I just got my email from SHOT Show 2019 that my media badge has been approved. So they did not kick me out of SHOT Show. So I just got that email back just now. So I'm going to SHOT Show again. So yay. Anyways, sorry about that.
When did you sign up for that?
This morning, actually. I got it back tonight.
Did you get an email or something? I haven't gotten anything from them yet.
Yeah, I got an email saying registration is now available. So
really,
check your spam.
I don't have spam.
Oh, well, then I can't help you on that one. But yeah. I'm sure you could just go to SHOT Show 2019 or whatever. I'm sure they've got a website to register and all that, but it took me to a link. I think it was shotshow.org or something like that. That's what it was. And hit register 2019. And I went through the normal stuff. So, yeah, I'm good to go. So anyways, yeah, sorry about that. Let's see here. Now we had a question from Warsaw. Now this is going to be a complete different rabbit hole, and that's okay. Let me see if I can find it. I'm sorry, Warsaw. Okay. He said, what are your thoughts when it comes to laws in states that restrict my God-given rights to own and use a firearm? In his state, they restrict him by first having to get a Ford card. I mean, I don't know how you expect me to answer this. I think that's absolute bullshit, but, You know, there are some people that the obvious answer is move. I mean, that's the obvious answer if you don't like the state. Now, obviously, the vast majority of people just can't up and move because of the gun laws in their state, whether it's work or family or whatever. The answer is not an easy one. It's you can either fight it and try to, you know, elect officials that will try to help you change some of those gun laws in your state. But the reality of it is there are some states that are just going to be a lot more stricter about gun laws than others, and it sucks. And I don't have an answer for you, Warsaw, on how to change it, except for keep fighting every day. And the midterm elections might be extremely crucial. You know, next month and in about a month. You know, actually, it's a month from today, as far as the first Tuesday of the month. So I think it's the 6th of November, I believe, is Super Tuesday. Is it not? I'm not sure, but I think it's the 6th. But you know, it's. Any guys have any ideas? I mean, what to say to someone? I'm lucky. I don't live in a state that has bad gun laws, so when it comes to that, I hear all the people and I have sympathy for you, but I can't give you. What's up, Andrew? But I can't give you advice as to what to do and all that because I've never had to go through that at the state level. Any of you guys have any information or any input for Warsaw?
It's not an easy, conversation.
And
it's a tough conversation to have because you come off, you know, I don't know, you come off like a butthole, I guess, a lot of times. But there's a couple of things with that. Number one is when the founders put everything into play, there were states for a reason. And that's if the states kind of got out of hand. Yes, I mean, the federal government was supposed to sort of rein that in to an extent, but that's not really the way it was set up. The federal government was not set up to be a behemoth babysit a bunch of states. That's not the way it was set up. We were supposed to affect or control on the states, and we do that by moving. And, you know, a lot of people packed up the wagons and headed west once upon a time. And do you think it wasn't tough for those people to pack up all their belongings into a wagon and just head out? You know, yeah, that was extremely tough. It's no different nowadays than you just up and, you know, quitting your job and being homeless somewhere and living out of a car for a little while. If that's what you got to do. They did what they got to do. And I know that's a tough pill to swallow and that sounds horrible, but you know, sometimes you got, if the situation or the cause is important enough to you, then that's what you do, I think. And then the other thing I've got is, we've got this thing to where we don't see a broader picture sometimes. We don't have a God-given right to own firearms. We have a God-given right to defend our life and property. The Second Amendment basically reinforces that part of that is, you know, to own firearms. But then again, I don't believe the Second Amendment deals with personal protection per se, just the same as everybody wants to say it's not about hunting. The Second Amendment was about defense of life or property in the terms of tyranny, more so than self-defense against a mugger or a burglar or, you know, a robber, something like that, right? So with that being said, I think that's where some of the states initially came down. If you look at history, have initially came down, the states and even the federal government to an extent have came down with some legislation and regulation. I don't think it was necessarily to disarm the people to install a dictatorship or something like that. You know, it was, I don't know, a public safety type thing maybe or something. I think it was well intentioned, but we all know how that road of, you know, the road that's paved with good intentions, right?
Yeah. Now I want to Kendall Robinson out there sent a $25 super chat. So thank you, Kendall. Kendall says ban all states with gun laws.
There you go.
Unfortunately, Kendall, I think that every state's got at least some kind of gun law on the books. I don't know. And like you said, you know, someone mentioned out there that the state's laws are supposed to supersede federal law, except for when it comes to constitutional issues, which is true. And that's a very, very slippery slope in a gray area because the Second Amendment is obviously a constitutional area and an issue, but the state has the right to regulate how they not necessarily interpret the Constitution, but how they regulate and how they restrict or whatever. They have their own rights within the Constitution to do what they feel is necessary for their state. And unfortunately for that's the beautiful part of America, is the states having rights to the governors and the legislators at the state level having the right to govern their particular state and how they feel under the law of the land works. So yeah, I don't know. There's not an easy answer to this. And this could be it's been something going on for 200 plus years and will continue to go on for 200 plus more years as far as the gun community goes. Is what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? We always seem to be giving and not taking. And the only thing I can tell you is make sure that you're voting for the right people, especially next month. Make sure you're voting for the right people and question your representatives, question your senators. When they have office hours in the state, which is more and more likely, especially getting closer to election years, request a meeting with them. Go to any and every public speak that they have and ask them publicly what their stance is, and make sure you're emailing and calling them, making sure that they understand how you want them to vote, and get as many people that you can do that are in their districts to do the exact same thing. That's how you're going to win this thing, is being persistent and being, up to date on what's going on at the state level as far as legislation, because a lot of times the newspapers and the local news channels don't mention the bills that are being, put out there in the state legislature. So you're going to have to, stay vigilant in trying to find all of those out. Now, yes, Kendall, I agree with you. Let's ban all the states with bad gun laws. I wish it was that easy. I really do. I wish it was that easy. And you guys, by the way, I want to say this real quick. I'll get back to you. Hold on. I do want to say that it is October now. So this month for the super chats, thank you for the super chat, Kendall. I greatly appreciate it. We do not ask for super chats, but if you feel the desire to do it, let you know that it does go to a veterans organization. And in October, we're going with the Challenge Aspen. It's we're going with the military opportunity side. It's called CAMO. Challenge Aspen Military Opportunities. And basically what this is for veterans or active duty, their families or caregivers, the opportunity to get out to Colorado, and in the wintertime or summertime, they have it year round, get outside and get back in with nature and doing activities outside. And whatever your disabilities are, they will help you, but it lets you get back outside and become part of the community again in a way that you're being productive and being physical and being able to do a lot of different things. So it's like I said, it's for veterans, it's for all armed forces, veterans or active duty, their spouses or partners and caregivers, and to get out there and do some outdoor recreation activities to kind of get back in the swing of things. So this month it's going to Challenge Aspen. So thank you very much for that. I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was gonna throw two things out there real quick. One having to do with voting, and then the second directed to Warsaw out there for a second. But with voting, if you got to realize, Second Amendment doesn't even crack the top 10 for most Americans. Okay, if you put that as number one, then you really need to do your homework, because you may have a Democrat on the ballot. As much as I generally like to say, don't vote Democrat, you may legitimately have a Democrat on the ballot that's better at the Second Amendment than the Republican. So you better do your homework, okay, and put your vote where your mouth is, so to speak, right? And I can't fault you for that. Vote your values, have your list and vote it, whatever it might be, and vote accordingly. Okay. The second thing is, Warsaw made a comment about there that the Constitution doesn't say anything about the states have the right to regulate guns or something. Don't make that an argument, please, because the Constitution doesn't say a lot of things. A lot of things. The Constitution doesn't say that we should have a speed limit, for example. There's lots of things with the Constitution. Don't fall back on that argument, because somebody's going to beat you to death when you do that. The Constitution restricts the federal government. Remember that, the federal government.
And each state usually has their own constitution. So,
and that's the best thing about it. See, everybody kind of looks at that bad that the states regulate themselves. I think it's the greatest thing ever because of the reason that there are states that have better laws. And that, you know, it does suck to move. And I know plenty of people that have, but that's the best thing about America is we do have the right to go anywhere we want to. And they can't say, no, sorry, you got to stay here. You got to stay in this house. You got, you know, whatever. You have the right to move wherever you can and wherever is best for you and your family. So, you know, if it stinks, that's part of it. But nobody's forcing you to stay.
Yeah, I hear you. We're gonna flip it up around a little bit. We got Wanamaker coming up in a month, and Dead Horse over the Gun Channel side that said that he was disappointed in the last Wanamaker YouTube group that went there. Very few even made videos that were about guns and not BS. I was expecting all sorts of cool videos and guns, and got jack from 99% of the crew that was there. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. I can tell you that for me personally, and I'll let Clover talk about this here in a minute as well, because he was obviously there. We put some stuff out from Wanamaker, from J.M. Davis. You know, I've got tons of J.M. Davis stuff that can go for years and years. There's so many guns there. As far as Wanamaker go, I put out a few. The problem is this, and I can't speak for anybody else. And if you were disappointed in my content, very well, I understand that. I apologize, but for me personally, I wasn't trying to go find the tables that were selling the revolvers, because there's thousands of these tables that are just selling revolvers, or, you know, Mosins, or, you know, all of this stuff that are out there. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in trying to find some companies that are in the 2A that are smaller that might need some help. Unfortunately, in April, there weren't that many. Now, last November, there were a ton of them. So I'm looking forward to next month. Maybe there's a lot more vendors that are out there trying to do more stuff. So I did a few of them out there, the ones that I thought that were trying to get out there that needed some stuff. I can't speak for anybody else. I personally am not going to walk table to table and just video and take pictures of just a table full of guns that people are trying to overprice sell. So that's just me. I can't speak for anybody else. But Clover, what do you want to have anything to say about the Wanamaker crew?
Yeah, I want to pick on Dead Horse for a minute. Can I do that? Just simply because I love Dead Horse. Buddy, if you got a problem with the way we do Wanamaker, then come down there and be the Wanamaker media manager. We welcome you. Come on. Come on.
Yep. Come on with it.
We'll see you there the 1st of November. No. No, it would be cool, though. Dead Horse could make it and kind of throw his hat in the ring and do some stuff. So that's why I say that. I say that jokingly. You've got a couple of things. First of all, it was clear this last time that, and I don't know if Dead Horse has perused our, you know, Wanamaker, J.M. Davis, whatever stuff from November of last year, the stuff you and I did. But I honestly, I got a little more out of it. So there's two things that I see that potentially could be the problem that Dead Horse was seeing or whatever. Number one, there was, you know, what, 30 something people from GunChannels, time you factored in wives and all of that, I think.
30.
The problem, most of those was first time, so it was shocking all factor for them. And then on top of that, you had a very large percentage that was just there. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking them for it at all. But that was there to enjoy the show and look at stuff and buy stuff and whatever. They were not there in a media capacity. They may have got media passes, and I spoke my voice about that. I said, if you're not going to legitimately put out media, you don't need a media pass. And I told G-Webs that. I'm like, there has to be some kind of criteria set if Wanamaker is going to trust us to do this with media, that we're not just handing out. It's not fair to everybody else if we're just handing out passes. That said, if you don't follow Instagram, there was quite a few people. I've seen a bunch of stuff from Gizzard, worked his butt off on Instagram.
Gizzard was awesome on Instagram.
So did Grim. I've seen numerous things from Grim on Instagram and Roll Call and Ohio. But it was mostly Instagram. It wasn't videos. It was mostly Instagram. Well, I mean, they're still covering it, right? For me, I didn't have the shock and awe factor at all, and you didn't either. But what I did notice, and this was after, you got to realize Ghost and I had been to shot at that point, right? There just wasn't the industry, manufacturing, whatever, There just wasn't the people to contact. It was old fuddy duddy with a bunch of old rifles, and there's two things with that. Number one, what do you do with that? First of all, I mean, and number one is most of them guys wouldn't want to talk to you anyway. You know, they're there to sell some guns. They're not interested in promoting or talking about what they have, right? And then the second thing, even if they was, I mean, I don't know that it would have been good TV, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And George out there makes a good point. He said, you know, it was good for him because he's been to one gun show and he thought it was just mostly guns, and he wasn't. It was a lot of cool accessories and all that. And that's the thing about Wanamaker. Wanamaker, in essence, is still a gun show. You have to also understand that forever. Okay, Warsaw's got to go. Hey, take care, buddy. Anyways, most gun shows don't allow media. Most people that are gun show booth holders around the country don't want any videos or pictures being taken. And we ran into that pretty heavily last November because there's about 4 of us there. And we were the only ones with media passes in the entire place. And we got some strange looks, and we got some comments made as to what the hell we were trying to do, taking pictures and video at a gun show. Wanamaker allowed that. Then we brought in a huge group, 30 plus, in April. People that were there last November remembered us. They said they liked it, but we were still having to break some barriers even in April for the people that weren't there in November to being used to having media at a gun show, which usually doesn't happen very much. That being said, like I said, and what Clover said is in April, there wasn't the mass presence of manufacturers or, you know, people in the industry. It was more local gun shops, private things, or smaller companies that were really not really trying to go on. They're local. They're just trying to take their leftover inventory and put it out there to sell it. So it was a little bit different in April than it was last November. Now, going back this November, they should know who we are, and everyone that's there, we've been, you know, going a few times now as GunChannels. It should be better. That being said, we don't know. We can only video the things that I like. I'm not going to video stuff that I don't personally care for. But with that many people coming in, it should be able to get a pretty good coverage of the whole show, whether or not it's individual booths or we just kind of walk around and take, you know, wide videos and pictures of the whole thing. It is a massive place. So like I said, I hope that you understand that, and everybody understands that there are people that were, it was great to have 30 plus people there, but not everyone was there to do content.
Not even the majority was.
No, I would say there's probably 10 people, 10 people of the 30 that were actually there to do content. And that's not a knock on anybody, because I loved hanging out with everybody, but a lot of people were there just to hang out and meet a lot of different people and to get away for the weekend and go to a great gun show and go to nice, I wouldn't say nice, but go to dinners with everybody and hang out and be friends and all that. And that made the weekend so worth it, but not everybody was there in mind of trying to create content. That's just
AWAG says he wants to go to Tulsa, but he hates flying and he's in New Jersey. Well, so jump on a plane. We'll pick you up at the airport, bud, and we'll get it. We figured Night Strike stuff out. We'll figure it out. Just get there, you know. I think, and I don't know if Dead Horse has ever been. Did he mention?
No, he's from Utah, I think. So I don't know if he ever has or not.
If you've never been,
you need to go.
The thing is, you know, it's really hard to dog on somebody because they don't get much content, and the reason is there's so many tables there. Literally, if
11 acres.
They said if you spend all day, both days walking around, and 15 seconds at each table, and you can't even see all the tables if you only spend 15 seconds at a table. So imagine walking around and walking around in every company you see that you're like, oh wait, I'm gonna stop. I want to cover this, right? You spend more than 15 seconds, you're taking away from even seeing something else that may be down there. So you go for 2 days and you may get 10 pieces of content, but you've missed half the show because you weren't able to actually walk around and see who else might have been there. You know, I had Modern Spartan Systems on recently. They were there, and I never did see them. So
A was there. That's where you kind of got your relationship start with A1, is it not?
Yeah, A1 was there. They were over there close to where we were. Where
Okay.
we had our home base. Though,
No,
so
I'm saying that's kind of where you started your relationship with them, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it Wanamaker?
yeah, definitely, yeah. But like I said, they were close. So I mean, I actually walked by their booth several times. But yeah, Modern Spartan Systems. I mean, and talking with Marcus or whatever from there, they were there this last time, and I had no clue. And why? Because I burned time doing interviews and other things, and that restricted me from being able to walk around.
Right. Now, Dano's out there saying that he did photos of the Western gun collection from G's deck of cards, and he found at Wanamaker 38 of the 52 guns. So that's awesome.
That's a neat project.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool. That's a neat project. We talk about the what has G's mentioned it before, like the scavenger hunt, like type things and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be kind of a cool thing to do for like a scavenger hunt.
If it would be really cool if you had the time and if you could spend, I don't know, a couple hours. It'd probably take more. It'd probably take at least half a day. But if you were to take like 2 cards from that deck and your job was to go find those and take a picture of those 2 guns, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be awesome, Yep. But you basically would have to do that only and not worry about doing anything else because it's so massive. Unless you just happen to know where those guns are, you're looking at 11 acres worth of table. So, now AWAG he's just uploaded his blind challenge video. So don't go right now, damn it. But in a little while, when this is over, go check out AWAG's blind challenge video. So congratulations and thanks for doing that.
Now, Mad Sexy is asking when's Wanamaker? Every April and every November.
Yep. It's going to be around the April 10th. I think it was the 10th and the 11th this year.
Usually second weekend.
Yeah, it's right around. It's always going to be around Veterans Day. So I think that Veterans Day falls on the 10th today, this year, or the 11th. The 11th is Veterans Day because the 10th is the Marine Corps birthday. I think the 10th falls on a Saturday this year. So it'll be the November 10th and 11th.
Well, I got good news and I got bad news. Which y'all want to hear first?
Let's hear good news, man.
Good news is I got a new job. Bad
news
is because of that new job, I'm not going to be able to make it to Wanamaker.
Oh well.
Well, I hear you, but at least hey, I'll put it you this way, brother. I'm so happy for you that you're going to get a free pass because you got a new job. But not only did you get a new job, you got a new job at PSA. So you're going to get an okie dokie. We'll let you go on this one.
Yeah, I think if I was in your shoes, I would make that trade all day, every day. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I was planning on making that trip this time around. I probably won't be able to make it in April either. But a year from now, I should have a vacation coming up. So.
And maybe you could even talk to someone at PSA about maybe actually putting a booth at Wanamaker. Can you imagine how busy the PSA booth at Wanamaker would be? Holy,
that's really not a bad idea.
Because they get paid for your trip, dude.
And
just saying.
Better idea. That's an even better idea. You're a genius.
I want to send a quick shout out to Mad Sexy, and I put an Instagram post out there last night. I came home yesterday, and there was an envelope from him, and I opened it up, and it was a handwritten note and a patch, and it was a 3% patch. And Matt had written me a note saying that to him, he sent me a 3% patch because to him the 3% represents those that have served and to protect the country. And he felt like he wanted to send me a patch to thank me. And I've had a lot of cool things sent to me over the years. That's probably the coolest I've ever had sent. So having someone out there that just saw a patch and thought of me and sent it to me in the mail it was an awesome gesture. So thank you so much, Matt. That really meant a lot. It was a cool surprise to come home to last night. So I appreciate you very much. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to address Mateo. I was typing out here, but Mateo was saying,
I was going to bring it up. Go ahead.
He was saying he got escorted. He got escorted out of a gun show for taking a couple pictures, and he was given permission by the booth and the table. Well, first of all, it's a gun show policy. It has to do with the promoter. You got to get their graces first, then you get the graces of the table. And you can't really even ask for graces of random people walking around. They really frown on the visitors there or whatever. You've got to you can have them in the background or whatever, of course, but you're not really supposed to stop and question them and focus them unless you've got a booth. That's one reason we set a booth up, is so that we could actually, maybe visitors could come over to the booth and we could talk to them. They were at our booth. But what I was going to say, if anybody's out there and they're curious about doing, and we've thrown this out there before when we've done the Wanamaker, if anybody's interested in their local shows and doing media, there's some tips and some tricks and some things that you talk about, you present when you're calling those promoters and talking to them and asking. And there's ways to get in the door to be media at a gun show. So if anybody's interested in that, get a hold of me or Ghost or G-Webs or somebody that's done it. Yeah. You know, and then get out there and just work your local shows.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. Like most gun shows don't allow media, or they've never been approached to have media because either whoever's hosting the gun show doesn't want media around, or the people that are buying the booths have expressed that they don't want media around. I understand a lot of people don't want to have cameras around. Even today, you know, even at it's extremely difficult, but even at Wanamaker, we try to, at least I know that I do, and Clover does, and G and everyone else, but we try to not video or take pictures of faces unless we have the express consent of that person. If they don't want us to take, I've actually had people say, hey, you can video all you want, just don't get me in the shot. Not a problem. So even if you are media, you still want to respect the fact that some people don't want their faces or whatever on there. Tack Daddy out there says, anyone from GunChannels go to Iraq Veteran Shoot? I did not. I had the invitation to go through another outlet, through Gear Report, asked me to go with them. Honest to God, between going there, I've got Wanamaker coming up and SHOT Show this year. I also had some other personal stuff going on. I could not go. I do plan on going next year, should the invitation still be up for to go. So I'm looking forward to that. I saw a lot of great pictures and videos. Johnny was putting a bunch out on Instagram, so it was kind of cool. I talked to Jeff, and it was great. But I look forward to going. I'm looking forward to go to Iraq next year. So Red October, I have not ever been to Red October. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Red October or not.
Nope.
All right, moving on. Let's see here. AWAG is out there. He's going to head on over, but go check out his chat. It is right now 8 o'clock. Hit or Miss is getting ready to go on. If there are any other questions out there that you want us to address, if not, we're going to start sweeping the floor. Do you guys have anything you want to bring up before we head out of here? Negative. All right.
I was gonna let Mike or Patriot talk. I've pretty much talked the whole time.
Well, I'm over here taking notes where I need to go next year, so I want to figure out if I need to make Waterman in April or November.
I'll let you know. We went last November and it was amazing as far as vendors. Went in April and it was more of the gun show, less vendors. And I don't know if because the vendors are going in November, we go next month and there's a lot more vendors again. There's a trend there. And it might be there's more trend going to November because it's getting closer to SHOT Show. But there were not near as many vendors there in April as there were last November. So I'm looking forward to hopefully having that. Mad Sexy was, will Ellis take help from us? Well, Ellis needs a lot of help. I don't know what help you're referring to.
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he needs a lot of help. Well, guys, we're going to start wrapping up. For those of you that are in Florida, Alabama, and all in Georgia, wherever that Hurricane Michael might be heading this weekend, please stay safe. Please get out of harm's way. If there's anything we can do, please let us know. We'll help you out any way we can. Oh, Mad Six is financial. Do you need any help financially? I mean, I think we all need money financially. So, I mean,
Yeah, seriously.
But no, everybody that's in harm's way of Michael, please be safe and get out of there and all of that stuff. So let's start running through the room. Ellis, what you got going on, my man?
Oh, let's see here. I'm not going to be doing the shows next week at all, I don't think. I've got to be up at early in the morning to get to that place in Summersville to do the orientation. So that's an hour and a half, 2 hour ride there, an hour and a half, 2 hour ride back, plus 4 hours there. So,
Do you know that schedule yet? I mean, do you know what days you're going to have off?
I have no clue, man. I don't know what effect this is going to have on my show. It's going to be probably the week after next before I do another show. So, guys, I'll just let you know what's going on as I know. I'm hoping to be started by Wednesday or Thursday at Palmetto. That's what I'm hoping. If not, things could get a little hairy.
So which store are you actually going to be at when you start working? I know there's several of them around South Carolina.
Yeah, there's lots of them. I will be working in the Ridgeland store.
Okay, so if you're around Ridgeland, go heckle them and try to see if you can get them fired. No,
there's been several people that's already talked about showing up at the store. G-Web's mentioned it. Sarge, C4 Defense, he's talked about it. So yeah, there's already talk about people stopping by the shop. And you know what, guys? If you want to do that, that's fine. I would love to see you, and I'd greet you with a handshake and a smile and say, "Hey, these are my boys." So anybody wants to show up, say hello. I'm more than happy to greet you at the door.
Now, there's a lot of people out there talking shit, including one of them that's on this panel right now saying, now you're a paid spokesman and you're in the pocket of big PSA now. So, you know.
I haven't, as of right now, I have not got a dime from PSA. So
a lot worse people to be in the big pockets of, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think you should go live in do a live from your break room at PSA. That should be your new.
I think they'd probably frown on that.
He wants to keep the job, dude.
Yeah, I don't want to get fired. Like the first day. No. But they were asking about financial support. Well, my last day at my job was Sunday night, so it's going to be 2 weeks before I get paid. So we're looking right now at least 3 weeks without a paycheck, possibly. So I hate to do it, but if you guys want to send a few bucks, I ain't gonna turn it down at this point.
Yeah, well, hang in there, bud. We're all proud of you. We're all happy for you. So go do it. Patriot, what you got going on? Obviously, you've got a new video, maybe add to the collection with AWAGs being published. So other than that, what else you got going on?
Not a single thing. That
sucks.
Focused right on the on the blind challenge, and I'm looking at some other things. I just got to figure out ideas of how to film some things other than just looking down at my tabletop. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Rick's show coming back next Saturday.
It's going to be in Indiana now. I'll tell you what, that's good stuff.
And make sure if you haven't, if you come up with a tagline for his new show, since he's not behind enemy lines anymore, make sure you email him at rickslifeasIseeit@gmail.com. Check out GunChannels and come check me out. Share my stuff and do the challenge. It'll be fun.
Chico Wise out there says, can the guy in the middle write in the side chat? I'd like to subscribe to him. I don't know which one. So what's up, Little Rock Woo Pig? If all of you guys can say hi in the side chat, and maybe he will know which one he's trying to subscribe to. So I don't know, Chico, which one you're looking to do. So anyways, yeah, go check out Patriots Blind Challenge. And if you've got the opportunity to and are willing to, go go make up your own video, and it doesn't have to be a handgun. It could be a rifle, could be a shotgun, whatever. But just try to get a nice catalog out there. So yeah. Mike, what you got going on, buddy?
I'm about to do this blind challenge that Patriot put up, and at the same time, I'm gonna start looking at the calendar, figure out this gun show y'all was just talking about, and on top of that, like I said, if anything, just go ahead and check out the weekly podcast, Black Man with the Gun, with me and Ken Blanchard, as we talk about different stuff every week. If you haven't done so, go visit my website, www.m-wtactical.com, or give me a phone call at 803-250-1256, or email me at info@m-wtactical.com. And we could talk about various topics revolved around the 2A community, or product reviews, or just shooting the breeze. You know, I'm open for anything. If you haven't done so, check out the video that I put up. Say again?
I said, you're a very good listener. I can vouch for that.
If you haven't done so, go check out the video that I have out that's just released today on YouTube, GunTube, and UGEtube under M-W Tactical. If you like watching it on GunStreamer, look me up under Munitions Weapons Tactical. But after you watch the video, please tell me what you think about it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, what I could do better, what you like, what you dislike. I'm open for anything. Also, please go follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Look me up under M-W Tactical, and follow me on my adventures on those two outlets. And the last thing is the campaign we still got going on is visit GoFundMe.com/M-W Tactical and help us reach our goal. And that's all.
Over what you got going on, man. What'd you say? What'd you say, Mike?
No, I said that's all I had.
Well, that was only 46 seconds. Damn it! You know, we're gonna have to. Trey, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Now, go check out Mike, especially if you're in the Columbia, South Carolina area and you want to help out with the GoFundMe. He's really doing some cool stuff over there with the voter registration. You've got the summer camps and then the jiu-jitsu for the sheriff's deputies. Really doing some good work. Go check out Black Man with a Gun podcast with him and Kim Blanchard. It's awesome. And obviously, he drops a new video out every Tuesday, so go check him out as well. Clover, what you got going on, buddy?
You know me. I don't have anything.
What the hell are you and Travis doing there? Having like hashtag wars or something?
We are. He still contends that honey bun's something to trade about.
I think yes, man.
Everybody needs to go speak for themselves. So all I got to say is if you like that honey bun, you're a dirty Yankee. So whatever. We've got another competitive shooter from Africa on tomorrow. I did the earlier this morning. I did the test run and all that for him. So hopefully dad's involved and mom and dad or something, and the alarm is set because it is 2 o'clock in the morning their time when he has to do it. But yeah, everything's in motion to do that. So, and had a long conversation in the test thing with him about all kinds of things we typically don't talk about on there. So should be a good show.
Oh, interesting.
And then Beach and Tactical will be in the house this Friday. So, yeah. The second installment of Clover Tech Classroom dropped earlier today. So,
that was a really good one.
If you've got people out there that
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, if you've got people out there that are new, I mean, it's not for most of us here in the panel or in the chat, or that may even be listening. But, new people that are just now coming into the firearm community, try to break things down in a really, really basic way with those. So, yeah, go check that out. And more importantly, share that with somebody who might find it beneficial.
If you haven't and you've got a little while to go check it out, last Friday, Clover had on Firearm Friday had Cody from Walther Arms. And if you guys missed that one by any chance, go back to his channel and watch the video, or you can watch it on podcast form.
It's across all podcast platforms by now. So
yeah. Go check it out. It was an awesome discussion. Cody was awesome, and he brought a lot of things. Obviously we're all familiar with Walther. I've never had a Walther, so there's a lot of cool things that Walther's doing in the firearm game, and it's a large company that has set up a factory and set up shop here in the US as well. So go check that out. It's a really good one. Go check out his whiteboard classroom. This one was talking about the specs for a scope and what the numbers on a scope mean, which is really cool because, hey, what's up, Southpaw? Just because a lot of people don't know what 4x32 are, or 4 to 16 by 32 or whatever. They don't know what those numbers mean. And a lot of people, and I know this to be true, a lot of people are almost embarrassed to ask those questions because they don't want to seem like they're ignorant. They don't want to seem like they're dumb. So this is a good way. He's doing some classroom stuff to kind of explain terminology and all that stuff. So go check those out because they're great. And if you're new to the firearm game and you do have questions, and there's all sorts of videos that the people here that are on this panel and out here in the chat and through the gun channels community and all of that have some really cool videos that will explain a lot of that. So don't ever be afraid, don't ever be nervous, and don't ever be ashamed to ask questions. You're only going to grow your knowledge by asking those questions. So we all started out somewhere.
And join GunChannels. Those questions, because there's tons of people over there that will help you out as well.
Yeah, 24-hour lobby chats that always have some kind of gun chat going on GunChannels. If you have questions, there's always someone here to ask you. Chico says it right. The only dumb question is the one that's not asked. No one is going to laugh at you. No one is going to think less about you. Ask the questions. If you're wanting to know something about firearms, there's always someone out here that can help you. And if I can't, I know someone that will, or I'll go find the answer for you. So don't ever, ever, ever think twice about asking questions to any of us. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, go check this out on replay. It'll be on GunStreamer and UGEtube and GunTube. We'll take the audio and we'll put it across all the podcast forms. The best way to find all the links are on the website, www.ghosttacticalproductions.com. I will put that out there. And hold on, let me get this out here. I can't do two things at once, so you have to let me do this. There it is. Go ahead and do that. Go check out Hit or Miss, guys. They're on live right now. They went live about 5 minutes ago. Night Strike and the guys are out there talking. God only knows. So if you like watching a good car wreck or train accident happen live, that's the one you got to go see, because there's no telling what's going on in that chat. On the YouTube side, it's Night Strike 1 is his channel. On GunChannels, it's Hit or Miss. So go check those guys out. Thank you for watching. Go check out the podcast. We have a new dedicated produced podcast called the Armed Citizen Podcast. You can find that on the website as well. Or you can go to PodBean, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all of the basic podcast places that you like to listen. They're there. Just search Ghost Tactical and you'll be able to find it. But the Armed Citizen Podcast, this past one is G-Webs. And we kind of got into more about G-Webs. G-Webs is a pretty private guy. For being out there so much, but he's a relatively private guy. But we got into a little more in depth of his background and what he wants and sees out of the gun community in life. So go check that out. It's a great little listen, and we've got some really cool guests. We got Tim with Military Arms coming on. We've got Julie Golub coming on. We're gonna have excuse me, sorry. I've got Tonto that's gonna be coming. I've got some really cool ones. Clover and I have to redo ours. And I'll explain to that later. Clover was going to be one of the first ones, and I messed it up and messed up the audio. So we're going to have to.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
Yeah, you know how it is. You know, it's not like we ever talk. So
good. We can talk about the honey buns then. And then
there you go. Yeah, we can bring up a whole slew of stuff. But yeah, go check that Night Strike. What's that?
Is that short on short crime going on right there?
Short on short crime. Hey. You know, that's brutal, dude. All right, guys. Well, go check out all these guys on the panel. Go check everybody out in the chat. Check their stuff out. Great content creators out there. We will see you next week with another edition of Tactical Tuesday. Semper Fi.